alone. Wow. Tears. Wow. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer Glatzhofer, but you can call me Jen. I'm a musical theatre performer and a voice teacher. And today I will be looking at a new voice over here on my channel. This will be Lauren Daigle, Thank God I Do. This is a live performance, so I'm very excited, as per usual. As always, this is a reaction and an analysis video, so I will be stopping and talking about the vocals. I have listened to a few Lauren Daigle songs. I have not listened to this one, so this will be a new first time listening to the song plus performance. But if you want to watch the full thing uninterrupted, I have left the link to the original video in the description below. And in the description below, you can also find the link to my Patreon page. So if you do enjoy what I'm doing over here, please do consider supporting me over there. If this is your first time seeing my face and you have not yet listened to my new single called I'm Not a Fan, please do go over to any major streaming platform to go ahead and listen to that. Add it to playlists, stream it, whatever you want to do. Thank you so much to those of you who have listened. We are so excited to be working on a full album for you, and if you are wanting to support the process of that, you can do by donating over on our GoFundMe page. The link can be found in the description below. Please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell button, and let's get to Lauren Daigle.
I've seen love come and I've seen love walk away. So many questions, will anybody stay? It's been a hard year, so many nights in tears, all of the darkness, trying to fight my fears.
Oh, listen to that richness of her low part of her voice. I think we're hitting E3s there.
It's been a hard year, so many nights in tears, all of the
No, D.
hard year, so many nights in tears, all
Tears. Wow. Live vocals. And there's a section in this interview that she's talking first. So this is after talking, using her voice. You know, we tend to feel like we can hit lower notes in the morning because our vocal folds have kind of not been used while we sleep. So when they first hit contact to start vibrating again, it's kind of like very thick, very low. That's why we feel in the morning. Wow. The quality of her vocal folds are just it's so rich and beautiful down there. And she's smashing these D3s. We've heard 2 already. She's in the lower part of her voice. Beautiful. The timbre is so it's just soothing. There's lots of breath to her vocal folds, which means that her vocal folds aren't closing all the way when they vibrate. So we're letting little air pockets come through rather than going all the way and getting a clear tone. Apart from when she goes down low, it's not in these lower notes. She does kind of get a clearer tone. There's still a little bit of breath, but it's like she's a bit more breathier up on the top, which again, those top notes aren't necessarily too high. They're a bit more like da, B3 there, so still low.
I've seen love come and I've seen love walk away. So many.
Oh no, it would no. She's really just leaning into that thickness. Oh, it's so good.
I've seen love walk away. So many questions, will anybody stay?
And I love that she's kind of singing through the dip tone, right? Stay, not stay. So those are E's. So da, she goes down to the D, then da, then she hits the E, stay. She kind of keeps it quite closed on that vibrato, stay, and then drops off fully onto that diphthong, that E part of the vowel, of the word, stay. And she actually dips a little bit down in pitch as well. Oh, it's so rich down here. It's so good. And I love this vibrato.
It's been a hard year, so many nights in tears, all of the darkness, trying to fight my fears.
Oh, fears. She's really like, as opposed to before, we went straight on the stay, fear. She's kind of like really singing through the fears word. Really nice. I really like as well how her voice is matching the melody on the piano. They're really like in unison. It's really beautiful.
Trying to fight my fears alone.
Wow.
So long alone.
By the way, I could tell the person who suggested this, Angie, who also has a low voice. It's just like she's just staying down there repeating these notes. It just seems so comfortable to someone who isn't. I know my low notes have improved, and I'm super, super grateful and like love that they are. But there's something else. And, you know, it's just so fascinating just to hear someone just like really live in this moment and live in this like depth and stay there. Oh.
Alone. So long.
And it's just not pushed at all.
I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you.
Can you hear that like little like it's not a clear voice that we're getting. It's like there's still that kind of huskiness. That's the word I was looking for. Like a little bit of huskiness to her voice that's just kind of like really unique, and just like I love that we got to hear her speak again earlier as well. So it's just like very, very match. You know, she's not putting anything on. It's there in her voice. It's really lovely and just distinctive to her quality of sound. Yummy. So she's up in the top part of her chest voice, and you can see this kind of motion happening a lot, right? Especially on that A. So, let's just see those onsets as well. Eyes are so weird. She's keeping open. The first time we get a aspirate onset, if my memory is correct, we get an aspirate onset, so a breathy, again with a breath, but breath onto the word. Let's go back to that and just hear. Oh, she kind of, she kind of dips up. She doesn't hit the note straight, like bang on. There is an aspirate onset, and it's kind of sitting back in her voice, which is interesting. So, you know, she's hit these beautiful low notes, and you can hear these top notes are obviously still within her range. She's still hitting them. But these lower notes are kind of like where her voice, like she's a true alto. It's stunning. But lovely open space as she's gliding up to this B4. And she's just beautifully in a lighter kind of feel.
I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you would probably fall off the edge.
I love this open space in the arms as well. Sorry. B on that B. Beautiful. She's opened up B. We get a little bit of an ear vowel. B. Again, we're on A, the first part of her first passage. Sorry, the break kind of part of her voice. She's navigating this beautifully.
I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you would probably fall off the edge.
Nice.
I don't know where I'd go if you ever let.
So these ones, she gets a little bit thicker because it's kind of like you've done it once for your voice. So now that you're repeating it, you're like, cool. Like, remember, this is live. So she's kind of probably like, how's it going to come? Like, I mean, she knows how it's going to come out, obviously. But the second time she's wanting it a little bit more thicker, a little bit more chest dominant, which means that when she goes back up to this, girl, because she wants to maintain that same chest speech-like quality feel, we're getting a little bit of this. And what that means when we do that, the cricoid cartilage can tilt as well. We're allowing that to open, but we just want to be careful that if we do it too much and reach, then we're actually squishing the larynx space. So that's just something just to be aware of. But, you know, Lauren sounds wonderful here. So it's just the right amount for her to get that cricoid to tilt and get that kind of thickness that she wants there.
I don't know where I'd go if
And she dips down a little bit as well.
those who keep me
Oh. And remember, she's just to hit up. Where's she gonna go now? She's just hit these notes.
I've started breathing.
Ooh.
The weight is lifted. Here with you, it's easy. My head is finally clear.
And that's exactly where I thought she was going to go. So she's returned back to her. Listen to how, even though she's just, for her, hit the highest note in this song so far, or I don't know where the song's going to go, but, you know, the highest note that we have heard so far in this song, she's still able to reach these Ds, these D3 notes so effortlessly beautiful. That's not what I was going to do. So good. And I love this kind of like smile that she has in her voice. That's also helping her maintain a brighter, so she doesn't like dip down here. Like, I know it sounds it feels like it's where she belongs in this area of her voice, so it's not anything that she has to really worry about, because her vocal folds just naturally want to go in this thick connected connection down here, but she's also maintaining a brighter lift to it, so it doesn't like sink down. Beautiful.
I've started breathing.
I love that.
The weight is lifted. Here with you, it's easy. My head is finally clear.
Oh, nice with the strings.
There's nothing missing when you walk by my side. I took the long road, but now I realize.
Oh, I love that change in vocal lines. Realize. It was just something a little bit before that. But again, lovely open vibrato. She kind of goes onto it straight away rather than, that is an option, or she could have held onto it straight, then add the vibrato in. But I love that she's attacking it with the vibrato straight away. Beautiful. So broken.
I'm home.
Oh.
With you. I'm home. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you would probably fall off the edge.
Oh, I love that huskiness.
I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go, so keep me held in your hands.
Do you know what, actually, this second line here felt a lot more supported. Not that the other one didn't, but this one I just felt like she kind of, like she's kind of leaning a little bit more back into it. Rather than just doing this, she's kind of really just sitting it into it a lot, which is it's so beautiful. I love this thick connection up here as well. And she's in a pure chest thick fold up here. Beautiful.
You would probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go,
Like,
so keep me held in your hands. You're my safe place, my hideaway. You're my anchor, my saving grace. You're my constant, my steadiness. You're my shelter, my oxygen.
Oxygen, that's so pretty. I love as well, I think one of the words was anchor. She is doing something called anchoring here. This is an Estelle terminology for those. I know I speak in a lot of like thick fold, thin fold, which is Estelle technique, but I also kind of do bel canto terminology. Pick whatever you want. But she's anchoring here, right? So we can see all these hand movements, because again, she's repeating this B, then sometimes she goes up to the C as well, still maintaining a thick sound. She is fully grounded, fully anchored and supported. The core is supported, you know, hitting these notes repeatedly. We need to make sure they feel comfortable. She looks really, really supported and comfortable here. Like her head's straight on. She does this sometimes, like opens up, really lovely. And she's also choosing open vowels. Notice every time she hits this, it's like, she's really like opening and like almost kind of smiling, lifting those cheeks in that soft palate position. So like my oxygen, notice that everything's just a vowel. And she's getting quite a lot of glottal onsets on these as well, which just means the vocal folds uh-oh, uh-oh, the connection's coming from there rather than letting the breath come through first, or a smooth onset. So she's getting quite a few glottal onsets here, which is tricky stuff. But yeah, everything's on this kind of av placement, vowel placement. Oh. Woo, nice.
Thank God I do.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you would probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go, so keep me held in your hand.
Right, I love here on the second one, we actually had a cry onto the ha, ha, which is really good. So this is kind of like the first time that I'm going to mention. I probably have to listen to it again just to hear. Everything else has been quite thick fold and she's very chest dominant, right? This is the first time where she's kind of like blending things a little bit together, which is really interesting, because I was going to say, to strengthen our mix, we need to have a developed chest voice and head voice. Obviously not saying every song has to go up to a head voice or go down to your, obviously we need elements of chest voice for sure, but generally speaking, we want a little bit of everything in a song, not just to be in one quality, to show us different kind of, you know, timbres and qualities. But notice in this one, the beginning of the there's a ha, ha, like a little cry. So she's blending here. She is really supported in this chest dominant space still. She hasn't shifted the she might have shifted a little bit the balance because of that lighter quality that's now coming in, but she's still remaining in a thick fold connection. It's a great way to give us support, and she's doing it beautifully.
You would probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go. So
actually, because of that cry, notice that go up on that A. Is it still?
fall off the edge.
It's a lot more narrower.
I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go, so keep me held in your hand. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. Thank God I do.
Oh, I love that breathiness to her voice. Wow.
Oh my God. Beautiful.
It's such like a raw performance as well. Like you can hear her vocal throughout. Like there's something so beautiful and vulnerable about doing this, and that was really lovely. I loved how she grew with the voice, like within certain parts, and then returned back to that breathy kind of. And the title of the song, Thank God I Do. What a beautiful song. Well, I very much enjoyed breaking down Lauren Daigle's vocals in Thank God I Do, this live performance. I really, really enjoyed it. And, you know, I mentioned a lot about like thicker folds and how like maybe sometimes there was a little bit of a reach happening. She was able, you know, the whole song sounded great. I never mean anything negatively. It's things that I'm like pointing out or picking out. And like I just mentioned at the end, there was a difference to when she approached that first note with a little bit of a cry, ha, ha. I know this is like, I'm exaggerating it now, to where she just, and approached it with a glottal and thicker folds, right? Because then that's the first note of the phrase, and then she's set up like that. And then the go is a little bit more open as well, whereas go, maybe she had a little bit more cry in there, so it sounded and felt a little bit different. But I really enjoyed it. I loved the raw like feeling to this song. I'm excited to hear some more. Thank you very much for watching this reaction and analysis video. If you enjoyed it and learned a thing or two, then please do consider checking me out over on Patreon. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the bell button, and the thumbs up button if you did enjoy it. I will see you very soon for another video. Bye!